Welcome to our CCU chaining guide for the In Case You Missed It 2024 sale. We'll show you which CCUs to purchase to get the ships you want at a discounted price. This guide only applies to this particular sale and will be updated for the next sale where necessary. Now, before we start, we have to talk about some terms that we'll be using, just in case you're new to this. Here are some definitions for you. War bond, cost of the ship requires spending real dollars, not store credit, in full or in part. Standalone, cost of the ship without including a game package. These are allowed to be purchased with store credit alone or of course with cash. Cross chassis upgrade is CCU. A CCU is an upgrade from one ship to another. You do not need to own a ship to purchase an upgrade to that ship. You do not need to own a ship to purchase an upgrade from that ship. Any upgrade from any ship to any ship that is available for cross chassis upgrade is a ship you can buy an upgrade for. LTI, lifetime insurance. This insurance carries from the old ship to the new ship if you upgrade. LTI is insurance that allows you to claim your ship in case it's destroyed, stolen, or otherwise lost to the point where you can't repair it or retrieve it. This will eventually be purchasable in game for fairly cheap, so LTI isn't particularly necessary when you want to purchase a CCU or a new ship, but it is always appreciated. LTI token, a cheap lifetime insurance vehicle or ship bought for the sole purpose of applying a CCU and giving that future ship LTI. CCU chain, using war bond sales to CCU your ship to another ship at a discount, normally done starting with LTI tokens so that the upgraded ship also receives the LTI. LTI tokens are fairly easy to get. Simply purchase a cheap ship or vehicle with real cash when they announce it as a new concept and then save it for when you're ready to purchase the CCU. Simple. If you need a tutorial on how to purchase and apply CCU, I'll leave a link in the description to our first short video, which is a video explanation of how to do that. Otherwise, let's get started with our CCU guide for this sale. The following ships on sale have no CCU chain because of their current price and the available war bond. The X1, X1 Velocity, X1 Force, the Cutter, Cutter Scout, Cutter Rambler, the RSI Lynx, the Sulian, the Storm, and the Storm AA. The F8C never has a CCU available just because of the type of ship it is. Each of these CCU guides assumes that you are starting with an Aurora ES and upgrading from there, which is the cheapest ship sold in the game. I do this so no matter what ship you're starting with, you'll know which upgrades to get. If you have a ship that is more expensive, then hop on the train as soon as we get to a ship that's the same cost as yours. I'll give you an example of what our first example CCU is with the C1. So if you're trying to get a C1 Spirit, you would be starting with the Aurora ES. You would upgrade to a Storm AA paying $80 with store credit or real money. Then you would purchase a Storm AA to C1 Spirit War Bond upgrade using real money for $10, which saves you $15. Let's say you had a Cutter instead. This I'll show on screen. Now, if we're starting with the Cutter, we have to upgrade from the Cutter to the Storm AA. So we would purchase this upgrade. Notice it says you don't own a Cutter, yet we're still allowed to purchase it. Then after we purchase the Cutter to Storm AA, we would come right back here and then we would purchase the Storm AA to the C1. And of course we would choose the War Bond edition, which is $10, okay? Doing this, going from whatever your starter ship is to the Storm AA, and then purchasing the Storm AA to the C1 Spirit upgrade saves you $10. Another way to do this, of course, is you could just purchase the C1 Spirit outright, because the main reason you're saving the $10 is coming from the fact that it's a war bond. So for the first war bond, you normally can just purchase that ship outright if that's what you want, and then go from there. So let's give you another example, but this time we'll do it with the A1 so you can see what I mean by hopping onto the train. let's assume that the person has an F7C tracker. So my instructions before were to get an Aurora ES to a Storm AA. So we'll still do that, assuming that the person doesn't need that. We're still gonna do it for everyone else. Aurora ES. Storm AA. All right. So this person would make this purchase. Then we would go Storm AA to C1. War bond, of course. We would purchase this. Then we would go C1. Mind you, at this point, we are trying to buy an A1. We would go C1 to F7C. And then you can see there's the tracker. And then we would purchase this one for $15. So if you owned an F7C tracker, CR tracker, then you would go, this is where you would start. F7C. You would select your tracker, and then you would keep going on this track with us. So people who owned ships that were less expensive than the F7CR tracker would already be on this train. You're hopping on at the F7CR tracker because that's the ship you have. Now, if your ship isn't mentioned, all you really need to do is look here at the ship value. When you look at the ship's value here, you can see that it's $140 USD. So if you have a ship that's cheaper, then you would simply hop on the train before we got to the Hornet tracker. If you have a ship that's more expensive, then you wait to see where to hop on the train based on what we do talk about next. So from the F7CR tracker, there we go to the SRV Warbond. And as you can see, $10. Now from the SRV Warbond, we would then go to the A1 Spirit Warbond. I'm not applying these upgrades, as you can see, because I don't need these ships because I already have bought my ships. So I'm just showing you the process for going through and applying these, right? So at this point, if you've done everything that I've showed so far, as far as trying to get the A1, then you should have arrived at the A1 and you should have saved about $40. If you started with the F7CR tracker, you would have saved $40. And if you started with the S, you would have saved about $55. So our max savings is $55, but it all depends on where you get onto the track. Where you're saving money is at each war bond purchase. So every time we purchase a war bond edition, like you see here, that's where we're saving the money. So of course, the more money you're spending, which would mean if you're buying a $600 ship or something like that, the more money you're going to see saved through buying war bond editions. The cool thing here is that normally a war bond edition would require you to pay full cash, but because we're upgrading, you only have to pay the amount the war bond is worth from your upgrade in cash. So this one is $10. I would have to pay $10 US. I would not be able to use credits for that upgrade. All right, now I will repeat what we just did for the A1 without the tutorial, just so everybody gets it. In order to get the A1, we're going to assume you have an Aurora ES. You go ES to a Storm AA for $80. Then you go Storm AA to C1 for $10. Then you CCU the C1 to an F7CR tracker for $15. Then you CCU the F7CR Hornet Tracker to an SRV Warbond for $10. Then you upgrade your SRV Warbond to an A1 Spirit Warbond for $10. If you started with the ES, you saved $55. That's going to be it for the tutorial portion. If you need another tutorial, like I said, I will include something either in a pinned comment or in the description that shows you a very quick video of how to do CCU, how to get to the screen we're on and everything. It'll be a really short video, so that'll be probably my first YouTube short that I do here. All right, tutorial's over. We're just gonna speed through them from now on. All right, the next ship we are doing is the RSI Zeus CL and ES. We'll do these together because they cost the same amount. We're gonna do the ES to the Storm AA. And you'll see a lot of these repeat, right? Because remember, we're trying to get to a Warbond ship, right? So we do the ES to the Storm AA, that's $80. Then we do the Storm AA to the C1. We're gonna get that Warbond, that's $10. Then we'll get the Ballista to Zeus. And as you can see, we can get the ES or the CL here because either way, it's a $10 Warbond. So here, you're really only saving the $10. Now we'll do the Argo SRV. And this is where you'll start to see the savings go up a little bit. We start the same way. We do our ES to our Storm AA. Then our Storm AA, to the C1 Warbond, $10. Then our C1 to a tracker, $15. Then the tracker to an SRV. And of course, that'll be the Warbond edition for $10. And that's for a savings of $30 max. All right. So now I'm going to speed through the rest. I just wanted to show you on the screen exactly what you were doing as you went through. Next, you'll CCU the Aurora ES to a Storm AA for $80, the Storm AA to a C1 Warbond for $10, the C1 to an F7CR Tracker for $15, the F7R Hornet Tracker to an SRV Warbond for $10, then the SRV Warbond to the Drake Vulture for $10 for a savings of $30. For the RSI Scorpius Antares, you'll do the CCU of the Aurora ES to a Storm AA for $80, the Storm AA to a C1 Warbond for $10, the C1 to an F7CR Tracker for $15, the F7R Hornet Tracker to a SRV Warbond for $10, the SRV Warbond to an A1 Spirit for $10, then the A1 to the RSI Scorpius Antares for $10 for a maximum total savings of $75. For the Apoa Santak Yai, CCU the Aurora ES to a Storm AA for $80, the Storm AA to a C1 Warbond for $10, the C1 Warbond to an F7CR Tracker for $15, the F7CR Hornet Tracker to an SRV Warbond for $10, the SRV Warbond to an A1 Spirit for $10, then the A1 to the Apoa Santak Yai for $20 for a max total savings of $75. For the Hull C, a longer one, CCU the Aurora ES to a Storm AA for $80, the Storm AA to a C1 Warbond for $10, the C1 to an F7CR Tracker for $15, the F7CR Hornet Tracker to an SRV Warbond for $10, the SRV Warbond to an A1 Spirit for $10, the A1 to the Santak Yai for $20, the Santak Yai to a Reclaimer for $160, then the Reclaimer to the Miss Hull C Warbond for $50, and a max total savings of $125. The Arastra, CCU the Aurora ES to a Storm AA for $80, the Storm AA to a C1 Warbond for $10, the C1 to an F7CR Tracker for $15, the F7CR Hornet Tracker to a SRV Warbond for $10, the SRV Warbond to an A1 Spirit for $10, the A1 to the Santok Yai for $20, the Santok Yai to a Reclaimer for $160, the Reclaimer to a Hull C Warbond for $50, then the Hull C to the RSI Arastra for $75, and a max total savings of $125. Anytime we are doing these upgrades, we always choose the Warbond edition. If there is a Warbond edition available, we choose it. We always choose it because Warbonds are where we save the money. So as you can see, the larger the ship, generally the more money you save, but that is of course swayed by how much money you have to spend. $575 is a lot to spend on digital ships, but hey, buy what you like. I certainly have, which is why my wallet cries in a corner every time CIG has a ship sale, but I digress. Let me know in the comments if you found some better combinations or better ways to discount during the CCU game. That's it for this one. See you in the next one. And it will be my first YouTube short. So check that out. Peace.